When important people are no longer in your life, it's one thing. But then, whenever those people are no longer on this earth, it creates so much more of an underlying guilt or shame. These people are meaningful to you, they've created an impact in your life. And we get so wrapped up in our everyday going about that we always think we have that time for later on. Oh well, I'll plan a trip and go visit, or I'll give them a call later. And it's whenever those unexpected moments come that there will be no later, that you truly realize what an opportunity you missed. One of my biggest hair mentors passed away the other day, and she was having health issues for maybe the last 6 months. And there was multiple times where I was like, well, I should reach out. But she's very well known, and her social media was just blowing up, and you could tell that she was not doing well. And for someone like me who always feels as though I am bothering people, my main thought was that I plan on going back to the area that she lives in, and I would just schedule a meet, or I would hit her up whenever it seemed like things were going on the up and up. Like I said, this has only been going on for a couple months, and unfortunately I had kind of stepped away from the platform that all the updates had been being shown on. And as of yesterday, she is no longer with us. And this was one of the most go-getter women, a walking trigger that I had the pleasure of working under, of learning her ways, more so in the hair, but also in real life. We became friends. I was her assistant for years. We took trips together. We did multiple business meetings. And she really took me on, even though she didn't have to. And the shame and the guilt that comes up with not reaching out because I was too afraid of bothering her, or thinking maybe she would never see it, has now got me questioning, what if my one message would have made her day? What if my one message would have given her a spark of hope? Not coming from an egotistical way, but or thinking that I am the holy grail, but what if my message would have made a difference within these last months? Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do now except for keep this little lesson in mind, to keep the realization of your limitations that you put on yourself, the thoughts that you think because you may be too much, or you may be bothering someone. These little stories, these little beliefs that you have inside your head could be holding you back from something that you may never get the chance to do again. I truly believe that everything happens for a reason, but I also know that with that, you have to be willing to put yourself out there. You have to be willing to upgrade from where you were to where you want to go. And this has got me twirling in my head, because like I get into these spouts, and I get into these rotations, and I create these scenarios within myself where I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing. And I know that the word don't really cuts me off from seeing beyond where I'm at right now. And I know that this is a pattern that I have, and the only way that I can get out of it is to slow down, be grateful for where I am, stop living in the future, come back to the now, to the present, and really just get comfortable with the uncomfortableness of not knowing what's happening, getting comfortable with the unknown, falling in love with the process of just having everything fall into place. As things start getting down to the wire, if you will, as things start getting a little bit closer to that deadline, I can definitely tell where old patterns are coming up. I can tell where the old me just wants to revert back to, well, I just have to keep doing, like, I just have to go back to what I know. Like, this isn't working. But I haven't given it a chance to work, right? I clearly don't trust myself. I clearly don't trust the situation. I clearly don't trust the progress that's going on. And in reality, I am safe. I have my affairs in order for moving forward. But it comes back to my mentor and how you, how you just have to do it. You just have to take the action on it. You can't just sit around and think about it. You're not going to get anywhere. The mental clarity comes with taking the action, with putting one foot in front of the other, and sometimes that involves failing. Sometimes that involves not the desired outcome, but it gives you the insight as to how to get to the desired outcome. Because I can tell you, for the last couple of years of just sitting and ruminating in my own head, and then taking that onto paper and writing it out, it was definitely more beneficial to start writing it out. But even now, I'm seeing that just writing it out isn't the end of it all. Even for me, speaking it out loud, these morning affirmations or these ideas of reprogramming my subconscious to gain more clarity towards where I want to go, I have found that actually taking the time to speak it out loud through these videos, through just waking up in the morning and speaking it out loud, is it has created even more of a change than just thinking it. It's almost like just thinking it is like one wave pattern, but then actually speaking it into existence out loud is like a whole different program. It's like a whole different frequency, like a whole different level, where it I can almost feel it even settling in more. Almost like when it's just inside my head, I have the opportunity to kind of ping pong real fast, but with me saying it out loud, I can hear it. I am hearing it as I am speaking it. And of course, it takes a little bit longer to like really get the words out. And so there's the ping pong back and forth isn't as prominent, and I'm able to catch myself, and then I can backtrack. And I was like, and once you hear something that is not true to you, to where you're wanting to go, it's way easier to come back to, no, this is how it is. Like, that little thought was just an old belief, that subconscious trying to keep me safe, where the real deal is reverse engineering from what I know I want to be, where I know I want to go, and taking the steps backwards from where I am now. Like, what is this person that I want to be, this outcome that I want? How would that person act in this moment? What would they do throughout the day? What is it that would build up? What are those smaller steps that would create this person, the inner workings, the outer workings? I've been thinking and wanting this motocross lifestyle. I've always wanted a dirt bike. I've never had a dirt bike. I have a motorcycle, but I feel like a dirt bike would be a lot of fun. And for me at the moment, to purchase a dirt bike is not in the books, but I realize that in order to not get hurt on a dirt bike, there are strength trainings that I need to accomplish. There are flexibility, mobility practices that would be super beneficial in the flexibility category, to be aware and able to move and adjust to the terrain, yada yada. And so these are things that I can take care of now. These are things that I can start practicing, so that when the time comes, I can look over my shoulder and it not hurt. I can bend and I can move, and I can have that core strength that will be needed for standing up or whatever the hell happens once I get there. But it's not worrying about how to maneuver those things. It's about preparing and getting that inner foundation started, that inner foundation set up. And what you do in one thing, you do in all things. So I really think that because I've been working so hard on this internal dialogue for myself and really laying the foundation of my self-worth and what it is that I want, and just really getting to know myself, I'm able to understand a little bit better about what it is, or how to even reverse engineer what it is that I want and how to get there from where I'm at, from point A to point B. Because it's not a straight line, but there's so many inner moving parts within it that no matter where you are, I feel like there's always something that you can do. By no means am I a millionaire, but if I really focus on reverse engineering that, it's all about taking the small steps. Atomic Habits is a really good book that gives you a good explanation about how you can get started from where you are and build your way up. It's not about taking huge leaps, it's about taking these small steps, taking the minute little movements that over time, once you add them up, will eventually get you to where you're wanting to go. It's all a building process. And while I am one of the most impatient people, I have to say that working on this in different areas of my life has definitely brought me to a place where I catch myself. I am by no means got any of this perfected, but I am aware and I am able to catch myself. Sometimes not in the most quickest way, but it's once I do catch myself, then I know and I trust myself to be able to take a step back and to understand what is happening so that I can figure out the steps. Because there's no straight up book to tell you how to live the rest of your life. There's no way to know what is best for you yourself, because your personality, your perspective on things is going to be like no one else's. So, what you see as a priority, what you value, what you want out of life, sure, there's going to be other people that could totally relate to you. But in another aspect, your experiences has built you the way that you are. So, only you can get to know yourself to move forward, to understand where it is that you could make little tweaks, where you could start working on different areas to strengthen where you may not be your strongest. And you can gain insight to where you can ask for help, where you can collaborate with others and you can build each other up. We're not meant to do this all on our own. Everybody's going to have their own strong points. And that's one of the best things about living. And now that I am becoming more aware of this, as much as I am more of a lone wolf, if you will, I completely see and understand how important it is to build connections. And it's not even about using other people, but it's about building connections and building each other up, about what my strengths are that I can share with others who may be stronger in my weak areas that they can share with me. We build each other up. You learn when you're around the greater, right? That's how it is in sports. In high school, you have your JV and you have your varsity. The JV always plays the varsity so that they can play with no expectations of winning, but they can play more experience so that they can pick up and learn from the experienced. If you're always playing with people at your level, how are you ever going to experience things at a higher level? How are you ever going to experience the things that you don't know? Of course, this is all personal preference. If you're happy with where you are, then you're happy where you are. Yeah, I know for myself, and I know for many others, the way that we're influenced in our day to day life, we could always use some improvement. We could always grow from where we're at. And the best part about that is that we're at our own, we get to go at our own pace and we get to understand and we really get to learn about ourselves. And within that process, it becomes so much easier to start growing in whatever and any direction that we could ever think or want to as we move forward. It's a never ending process. It's falling in love with the process and falling in love with the unknown, because every day we're moving towards the unknown. It's having that trust and having that faith that eventually we'll get there. But by the time we get there, we'll be ready for something new. So just fall in love with the process. The end goal is never the main destination, because once you hit it, you are ready for the next one. So, with that, I would love to dedicate this to Miss Christa Stephens. And I have to say, the inspiration and the love that she gave to everyone she came around, just a truly dedicated woman to her craft. The inspiration that she gave to just go after your dream, and the way that she built herself up from nothing was a motivation for so many that came along her path. So many people that she built up, that she shared all of her knowledge and her wisdom to, for them to become the people that they are today. So with that, I remind you, take those steps. Don't wait. If you feel the calling, if you feel like reaching out, if you see where somebody could use a little bit of your light, a little bit of your inspiration, reach out. We're all in this together. Until next time.